afternoon. I'm going to jump into the video a lot quicker, a little less of my philosophy and stuff. But we had a great follow-up on the zone stuff, inside, outside. When we're done here, if you have more on that, don't be afraid to grab me. But I'm going to jump into pass protection a little bit. And it wasn't, pass protection was not always my forte. I'd always kind of hung our hat on the run game. The last 3 years at Rutgers, when I showed up, I think we gave up 38 sacks our first year, which is a lot. Then our second year, we actually led the Big Ten, only gave up 18. We were first in the Big Ten in pass protection. That's blocking the likes of Michigan, Penn State, Wisconsin, Ohio State. Those guys they got some real guys who can go get it off the edge. And we really had to build it around our players. We didn't always have the most athletic. We had to set schemes up and help them out at times. So I'm going to jump into technique first. I've got a little more detailed in our pass pro technique. And then I'll jump into some scheme pictures. You can see some stuff that we'll do, whether it's half man, half slide, a little bit of 7-man protection if we need help on certain guys off the edge. Because I think everybody's got your base pass protection you use. Where you get to become a better coach is, what can we do to help that tackle that's got to play against that defensive end all day long? What can we do? Can we chip that guy? Can we change alignment? Can we slide to him, slide away from him, chip him with a back, bang him with a tight end? How do we slow down that elite pass rusher? And that's really what I've spent more time on the last couple years than anything else. So we're going to jump in here. Kind of like the run game. When I start talking about pass protection, my biggest thing is everything's going to start from the ground up. And I said it earlier in the run, whether it starts with your stance, which is the same in third down situation football. We will stag, we will do a little bit more with our stances. I'll get into that as we go. But as we get started here, when I go to drill every day, I had a question on the zone stuff. Well, if you only have 10 minutes or if you only have 15 minutes of individual, what do you start with? What are your core drills you begin with? Our number one thing we will do is we will do our mirror work, our lower body, just our lateral movement, because if your knees can't cover the defender up and get in front of him, you have no chance to stop him. You can bench 500 pounds, but if the guy's coming and I'm trying to grab him, he's going to run right by you. So if my body's not in position, just as in the run game, you have no chance to slow the guy down or stop him off the edge. So I'm going to jump in. First thing we got here is, I call this long mirror. It's about 10 to 15 yards. And 75, you can see he's the one doing the work. The other guy, I'll use the term rabbit. And I'll let it run here as they go through it. The thing 54, we talked about elbows. Okay, this morning in the run game. Can you see his elbows in the pass game? You can't. And it's the same thing with punching as it was this morning in run blocking. Okay? I know a guy, and Charles and I are the same age. He was playing at Ohio State. I was playing at Iowa. He does a phenomenal job, and I'm sure it's got to be a big deal here because with the internet and the teaching and the film, you know, one of the questions was, he'll talk about thumbs out, which is phenomenal until you go to punch it. How you actually can't rotate the hands all the way down. He's very similar. I will over-exaggerate my drill teaching because if I tell them thumbs up, where are they going to end up? The players. It's always going to be here. If I tell them thumbs out, I'll get this right here. You got to over-exaggerate your teaching and allow for that human nature to come into play. So that's a big one. But as you're looking at this, let's talk ground up still. You see the base. He'll almost drag the back foot. You never want both feet out of the ground. One foot's always got to be in the ground. Some days I'll do it out of a stance. You look here, I kind of get pissed at these two guys. Neither one of them set the drill up right. So I end up firing them and putting the good player in there to teach the drill to start with, and I'd be the rabbit. Okay, I like to have you stop so the guy's got to come to balance. Okay, if you just go the whole time, see him have to stop himself completely, give 2 redirects in there, and make him do a little bit of work so it's not just run down the line. And I film things from a different angle. I think it's good for teaching. The posture I talked about. Okay? Same thing here. The toes are going to open up slightly. You can see where his toes are pointed slightly out. We don't want them turned sideways. A lot of guys will do that naturally. And then they're going to get run over when they get the bull rush or the power rush. You got to keep those toes open at like a 45 so I can anchor on a bull rush, but I can still push and open my hips up and let my hips cover guys up. All right, you see where the hands are here. The young guys in the room don't even know who Chuck Norris is, but Chuck Norris killed a guy with a 6-inch punch, right? You don't want your hands back here, or it takes like literally forever to wind up and punch the guy. I want them, and I'll say a W, I want my thumbs touching, that'll force them to keep their hands tight, okay? And I want to be slightly under my pecs, okay? So as I lift, there's a little bit of lift in it. I'm not going straight up and down, but as I'm punching, there's a little bit of lift, because I want to punch with the butt of the hand. If you watch guys punch in your punch drills, they'll punch, and if they're pushing off with their fingertips, it's creating a spring, and that deep ender gets to keep coming. You punch it with the butt of the hand, it's like blunt force trauma. Boom! You shock their heart. The power that comes through your arm, it's all generated from your shoulders and your upper back, but when you punch them, they hit that force. If they hit your fingers, you see the looseness in there? It doesn't shock the guy near as much. And I mentioned visual teaching this morning. What do they call it in the States? Those pads when you're in the ambulance and they're starting to lose a guy and they rub the cream together and they go clear, boom! That's what your punch should be like. You got those hands up, that guy gets close to you, boom! You're shocking his heart, jolting, stunning. So he goes, I don't know if I want to do this all day long. But you see where he carries his hands. We'll get into hand placement and punch at the end because we work our way up from the ground. All right, come back here, and I +2 finished one of my laws of combat this morning. I put a cone up, so there's always a finish to a drill. Okay, Jonah, where's he finishing? You know, they're gonna finish through that cone. I'd like them to get 2 pushes past. I said when we split up, if they don't have a good set, they're gonna do it again. If you just let guys go through the drills and don't fix them during individual, they never get any better. 79 years, a big 6'8", big kid. Got a little hunchback, you see it? I like to put good film and bad film on here, but that hunchback makes him top heavy. When he punches, his weight goes out over his toes. If he can keep that reverse arc, I can punch, and my body doesn't go. My feet gotta come with me. So your weight is always over your balance, is always over your feet. I can watch long mirror, you guys will think I can watch this for 2 hours. Analyze every guy, because you can see balance. Come over, here's a really big, strong kid. This is the Jamaican kid. His hands, when he works, and you'll see when we get the drills, they never get any closer. That's the thing, I always had to work with it. And so I literally came up with different cues, so he had to touch his thumbs and clap his hands, all kinds of, because he's like this, and as big and strong as he is, a bull rush is all that could beat him, really. Because they take his chest right away. You see in the drill work, it shows up. Same thing here, it's the younger kid. Got a little bit of hunchback, not a real good reverse arc. A little better. 55 is a good wrestler. You can see where he's pointing the thumbs out. See how he's rotated? And the reason they say thumbs out, instead of just for the reason to have your thumbs up, is so your elbows rotate inside. Does that make sense? You want those elbows so tight in punch pro, in pass pro, that if he runs into you, there's no way, because they're going to go through your ribs. If you're outside, that guy's going to get all the way into your chest. If you think about it, do you squat more or do you bench more? Everybody should say squat, okay? If you're benching more, we got a problem as a lineman. But if you're benching a guy and you're trying to just win with muscle, he's going to run through you all the time unless you got that elbow completely locked. Okay, elbow lock, thumb up, rotate the elbows in tight. And then I got a really young kid coming up here, a really good athlete, but really raw. You can tell guys' feet here. You coach different things from the side view. You coach posture. From the other view I used, you talk about base. This is a true freshman, first week of camp. Look at what he sets. See how he's lunging? His shoulders are out over his knees. They're out over his toes. He's going to struggle if he stays like this. Part of it when you recruit guys is you want to watch and just see if they have natural balance. He gets his body back over his feet. See, if you watch his feet here, he sets. Now as he starts moving, he's not going to be able to see him have to tiptoe forward right there. Young guys, you don't grow up and when you're in elementary school go, pick me first, I'm the guard. Okay, everybody wants to be the quarterback and the receiver and the running back. So they don't practice these drills when they're kids. These are new movements that they're being taught at 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. From punching to moving. You see the same thing. I like these young kids, because that's the ones you're going to get first. What issues am I going to get? Very good posture, right? Good arc, good reverse arc there. But the thing you'll see him do here, if I was filming him from the front, he'll do this. When he goes right, well, you can't walk anybody like that. You got to keep that arc, and everything stays balanced from the waist up. Okay, so this is a lower body drill while you're coaching here. All right, then I'll go short. I'll shorten it up. We just went long, really stressed it. Now we'll shorten the area. This is actually a little extra short. I'll usually go 5 to 6 yards. Keep the rabbit off. There's no contact yet. Okay, it's all a progression. You see the set? I have them come out of their stances so that just every chance they get a chance to get a rep in. You see my man back there in the white jersey? Yeah, he's like my quality controller. He's a legendary high school coach in New Jersey. The number one thing he did for me, well, he'd go find kids and evaluate them. He goes, hey, I got one for you. He was the hunter. So during practice, he couldn't coach. He stood out there like the vice president. Look at this guy. That's the best job in college football. So let's go back to watching Kamal here a little bit. What I'm looking at here, when he goes, just watch him stop right there. I'm looking for a guy whose knees are bent. And when he stops, watch his knees are always inside his foot here. Watch this. Stops his whole body because his torso's locked, his core strength, his posterior chain. Okay, everything, it's like a rebar. Who's my construction guys? What's rebar called here in Germany? It's the metal and the concrete, the metal rods. Is there a word for it?
Bewährungseisen.
You both said it, so it must be right. What is it? Bewährungseisen. Okay? You take some of that Bewährungseisen and go right down your neck. Okay? And it's locked in, so my body's not leaning. It's straight up and down. From the crack of my pants right up through my neck. So as I move, everything stays straight. Now, higher I get, if I unlock my core, if I start lunging, now my torso, I'm all over the place. We don't want this movement. That's all wasted movement. And from the belly button out, if it's not locked in, I lose all my power. Make sense? So as you watch him here, the older guys here, when they put that foot in the ground, they can stop on a dime. You get those guys that dance around like you got to be able to put the foot and go. Here's the big tall kid, got a little bit of a hunchback. You'll see a little bit more roundness. I'm going to go slow motion here. You see us drilling, the way we'll work this? 2 of us will work the drill together, give guys reps. There's a little bit of body motion in him, but when he puts the foot down, the big one here, he was so tall. If you look at his right knee, his knee will get almost on top of the foot. And what costs him is when he's punching, and that's happening, now he's got a double clutch to redirect. And this was a guy who was never a real starter for us, played in a lot of games, was a good backup, phenomenal person, okay? But this was an issue. If he couldn't get low, he couldn't keep his knees inside his toes. And when I'm saying inside, I mean in the middle of his feet. And that would cost him at the turns. Okay, here's what we've done now. As I keep progressing, we just get a lot of initial, I went right to punch work. So we did our lower body work, no contact, long mirror, short mirror. A lot of lateral movement. Then we'll get in here. Nobody grows up just doing this. So we have to train that, okay? When you get into punch drills, the biggest concern that people, I think they think punch means knock the guy out. The punch is literally stop the guy. Stop his charge. Because if we can get him playing lateral or fighting my hands, now it's just about covering him up again.
Coach, I have a question on the previous drill.
Yes.
As your offensive lineman, you're
Yep.
running, would you also switch the feet, coming back to what Coach Spencer teaches?
Yes, what we'll do is, and I'll get into that when I go sets here in a little bit. In the drill we do, I'll call it a cup drill. So if the guy's working right, it's the same drill, and you just, when you got your base drills, you build off of them. So I think what you're talking about, I always talk about fighting pressure with pressure. So if I have a rabbit or a defender that's going this way, and I'm a right side line with that foot back, I want to start working both feet and get my right foot fighting the pressure. Almost take away his rush, invite him to go back the other way, and then you got to switch the feet back around as you're dancing. Is that what you're asking? Yeah, in our drill, I teach it as a cup drill, is it will always fight pressure. When I get the sets here in a little bit, you'll see where we'll hit that also. A different way I'll talk about it. Good point, thank you. So what we'll do here, guys, this is as elementary as it gets. I will just take 4 guys so we get a lot of reps, and we'll go right hand, right hand, right hand, right hand, left hand, left hand, left hand, both hands together. I'll work. It's like the dot drills you do when you're training. You know, with your feet, everybody jumps the agility dots. You could take one of those shields, matter of fact, this is why I have about 4 of these, and spray 5 dots on them. So that they gotta work 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and replace. You're just working different motions for the guys to have quick hands and emphasize coaching the butt of the hand and the punch. I'm just looking for quicker hands. And as I threw this on here, we don't spend a lot of time doing this. 76, so I'm working with right there. Something I'll do from behind. I like watching this from behind. Watch 76 butt. It's up, he's leaning, he's jumping, he's using his legs to punch. This is more to emphasize, it's just an upper body movement. When you punch, the punch is just from the shoulder out. If I'm set here, I'm punching, I'm not rolling out of my hips to try and knock him out. Okay? When I said short punch, there was a wedge in that door back there earlier, just a little block. The biggest, heaviest door in the world. You could take a little wedge, stick it in below the door, and because it's got leverage and it's locked out, that's what your arm's gonna be like. You just gotta stop it. It's not like you're trying to move him. You're not trying to grab him and throw him. Stop him. And so a punch is as much about timing as anything. You want that elbow to lock right on contact. If the elbow's locked, it takes all the force coming through the arm to the shoulder, if we're in tight, you got good posture, and it takes all the force right into the hips, and you can drop an anchor. And the minute that slows him down, he'll start swiping hands. Well, now we can just cover and win with our feet. But a guy that's going to be a straight bull charge or power rusher, it is about getting him locked out, and your elbow's got to be locked. Because when you unrack from the bench press, the minute you unlock the elbows, what happens with a real heavy weight? Okay, it starts moving. Most of us can probably unlock and just hold a lot more weight than we can bench. Because with your elbows locked and your back, you have a lot more muscle structure holding that weight up. So as soon as the elbow bends, you start getting, same thing in pass rush. You hit him short, he's going to collapse that elbow on you. So they're going to keep living with the power until you can get that thing locked out. So all we're doing here is just a bunch of quick hand work. There's not really an older guy in that group because I'm looking at it. 58's all over the place. So this, look at his butt, just look at his butt jiggle. All right, that's a guy who's all unlocked. All right. Here's some older guys. Just look at their posture. 75, 70, I mean, that's a whole, 77's this big Swede. This is a second-year guy, good player. You see the difference in efficiency, just in movement? Now I've got the rabbit coming at him, the deep ender, and they got to move some lateral. It's very slow. This is not fast. When we go against the defense, we get all the full speed stuff. But you get this, and you're gonna, as a coach, it's hard for me to watch all 4 groups. That's why we film everything. If I got a kid with an issue, I can go back and watch every one of his indie clips. We'll work all their different sets. 65, you see his chest is a little lower. Better athlete than 79. See the width in his stance? 79 is too narrow. He was our same guy that had trouble getting good arc. Really big, long guy. But our 2 starting tackles are 65 and 54 right there. There's a little bit more power in their ass. They got good low base, good width in their base. And you watch them come out, that's a whole different efficiency than those rookies. Because they've been doing it for 3, 4, 5 years. 65 will probably be a late round draft pick this year. You see when he works here, see where the hands go? They're nice and tight. This is a timing drill for these guys. Same thing with 79 there. He's opened up too much because that bad stance. But watch the timing at 79 on the left. You get that with the elbow lock on contact, boom, you'll jolt the guy. I mean, you will take him right out of his shoes. And it's not because you're like trying to kill him. 65 is a little late. Watch how I always see his elbows. Watch here, right here. 65, punch, and he absorbs. See the absorption? Which means he's catching. And then here's a little bit of your knee coverage. You talk about 65 here at the left tackle. He sets, and it's all position based for these older guys. He sets, if he gets an in move, watch, here it comes 60 for 65. Here's the in charge right now. His eyes read it. Watch his right knee and elbow. When we do drill work, I tell him to over exaggerate it. Here we go. See the right knee and a hip turn in there? That's what you're asking about switching feet, right? It just happened to be natural for him here in the stance. But if he'd get an out rush, let's see if 54, does they both go in here? You can see 65 just initially. He's keeping that left knee in the crotch. He gets any kind of wide rush, he'll slide left. He gets in, he'll slide right. 54 over on the right, doing the same thing. Okay, same drill outside. These are both middle-aged guys. 74 had an issue. He liked to keep him long. He was not a real strong kid, so he'd stick him out there so he could be locked out. Problem was any kind of slap with a long arm, his whole body's getting thrown down. So you're going to be able to carry him in tight. A little bit younger guys here. 61 had good feet. You'll see him cover. It's feet before hands. If your feet aren't there, you can't punch. If you go to punch first, your feet never get in front of him, and there he goes. So it's milliseconds, but it's that foot's got to be in the ground as you punch for strength. Same deal. Then all guys do this. All guys jump at him. Literally jump, so they got to catch body weight, because we all know late in practice they're tired. How about real quick? What's the name? Philip? All right, Philip's my buddy. You know, we went out, had a couple beers last night. So hey, just take care of me. Here we go. You got it. All right, good work. They don't work each other real hard sometimes. So if they jump, that's a full body weight. You got to stop with your punch. All right, it looks a little goofy, but they got to stop the guy. So it's 77 over here. Here they happen to have their helmets on. If you want to take it to the next level, sometimes I take their helmets off. And as the guy's jumping, he'll jump and try and crack the guy's ears. So they got to get their head out of the block. It's actually a pretty good adjustment to the drill. When you go to these clinics, you're going to get a ton of drills. You got to make them your own. They got to fit your guys and their issues. But you see 77, really good job here. The elbow staying the whole time. 54 again over there. Obviously this is an older group. You get a center on the far right, 55. And then remember that true freshman that was playing tight end in the earlier film? This is him right over here on the left, 70. This is back when he was still a lineman early in the year. But watch, let's go talk to him. Okay, here, watch 70 here for a second. Watch where his punch goes. Okay, the hands are up on the top of the number. And see how wide his hands are? Okay, the young guys, if I want to carry my hands right under the breastplate, I want the punch right under the breastplate. Because we all teach hold, if you get it. Okay? But if you don't have proper placement, you're going to get cold for the hold. And I'm a defensive coach. I'm a fan. I want my whole team to win. That's lazier than shit if you're just going to grab whatever you can grab. Okay? You punch guys, and if you get the breastplate, either the steering wheel or underneath, bang, snatch it up. But if you got a shoulder or a V in the neck or just jersey and you're holding, it ain't working. So I am not just a grab and hold guy. I think that's the lazy man's way out. Same thing though, 54 here, where's he at? He's a little high on the punch. You see the hands? But look how much tighter they are. Okay, look how much tighter they are. I got a couple of these there. Guys, you can't get enough of this. Whenever we're working O-line versus O-line, I like it a little bit half controlled, a little bit slower, and our run indie will knock hell out of each other. So it is a chance for them to catch their breath a little bit, but really to detail what they're doing. It's not time off in practice. Okay? 66 over on the right. He was like Man Mountain Dean. He could bench 500 pounds. He could squat a house. But watch what he does here first. What's he punching with first? His step, his hands, or his feet? He's shooting the hands. Well, if I shoot the hands, all right, Philip, right? Oh man, all right? If I set, and this is just walk, if I shoot my hands first, go ahead and walk, and my foot's in the air, walk right through me, go ahead and go. See what happens? If my foot's in the ground, so I set, here he comes, my foot's in the ground, I can battle to cover him up. That's what we're talking about, cover with the knee. That makes sense? But if the foot's in the air and he's bull rushing, you'll spin like a top. You'll open the gate right up. Thanks, Philip. And that was a big issue, because guys dance and move. And even when we do our drill work, like right here, 77, if the rabbit falls off to the side, I want them to drill in their eyes because they're so locked in with their sensors. Oh, I just cover them up with my feet. He doesn't do that great right here. See him? 75 is taking a big drop step. As a coach, I will tell them great job when it's live. But I look at coaching, my job is, I'm going to tell them what's wrong with every single rep. The great ones will have no sacks all season. God, coach, my elbow's loose, my knee's a little open, my stance is a little back. They're always critiquing themselves. And we said it this morning, they want to be coached. Now, am I calling them, you dumbasses and blah, blah, blah? No, that's not coaching them, that's degrading them. But I will coach them hard. And you will demand a lot out of them. And in the games, or when we go one-on-ones with the D-line, that's when you have a lot of fun with them. They celebrate it in a competitive environment. So we'll go different stances. I'll go one day, we'll go tight shades. Then we'll go loose shades, so they got to get a double set in. Okay, the initial set, if you have a heavy shade on you, the way I teach it is, my man Keegan right there, Phillips right here, everything's coming out, whether it's hand down or 2-point. I got one. And I'm trying to set damn near nose to nose as a guard and center. As a tackle, I stay on the inside number, but just a square. Okay, we loosen the landmark up, keep him outside, don't get beat on the moves coming in. So as I set him and he's a tight shade, then I mirror from there, mirror punch. If he's a loose shade, we'll come out, pop, pop, and I set. Those tackles that get the stand-up wide guys on third down, pop, 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 they'll take the angle away. And those are things we do on air in pre-practice. Hey, 1 set, here we go, bang, 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 bang. 2 sets, here we go, pop, 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 pop. And it's just a lot of rapid-fire muscle memory, but you see here, I'll do different stuff in these drills. Especially in a weekly, when I know how they're going to rush us. These guys know who they're going against. They've broken the 1 or 2 guys down they're going to see a lot. And our dummies or our rabbits, they give us that look. They'll work spin a lot one week and hand slap a lot the next week. They're going to get guys ready for what they're going to see on game day. 75, awfully wide with this punch. See the left hand go out to the shoulder pad? You'll see he plays left guard for us. He started the last 4 games. He was the least athletic, least talented. He was a strong kid, but he was a boxer in high school. He's tough as shit. And when we put him in, the whole line changed how they played because of his physicality. So the O-line coach, I'm going, well, I'm the dummy if I keep him off the field. He might be our 7th best lineman, but he's the most physical. He changed how 4 other guys played. And I think as an O-line coach, you got to get your 5 best out there, and then your 6th best has to be able to go in everywhere. If you're a backup, the more they know, the better. And you'll see some film with him on it. Here's my man 79 over on the left. Okay, he takes his set, a little bit hunchback. Watch how long it takes him to catch up with this. See him go hands first? 75's at least going feet to ground, so his knee can get there and cover it up. Look how quick 78 on the right is. Pretty quick, efficient set. If they can hold their body control. And guys, this is the stuff we do now. That we do it over and over and over and over. We'll screw the drill, we'll vary the drill. 50 was a redshirt freshman. Tight hands though. Good tight hands. They start seeing what guys do here, right? 54, you can't see his arms. Can't see them. All right, next drill I'll do. Now we'll start incorporating lateral movement and punching. Very slow and controlled here. Okay? Sorry here. We'll work the whole line. We'll go down one way, and when they go, back to the feet again. If we're working right, everybody's leading with the right foot. When they work left here, see what my man 65 starts with. What the heck? Here we go. Sorry about that. This was skinny, preseason. I didn't have my recruiting food in. All right. But the big one here is I watch this. 79, he's my perfect example of what not to do. His whole shoulders go with the punch. You see that? He's lunging on every punch. The rest of these C55 shoulders stay out of it. It's our center. Here's the meatball left guard. He'll crush anybody. He's got a little bit of lunge to it. He had some issues with that. Okay, so we go through the whole line. I'm trying to get through all this a little bit quicker, guys. We'll go through the whole line both ways. 70, really good. This is the true freshman that played tight end. As he's going, watch when he punches. His shoulders do not go forward. Okay? Guys that can keep their posture and punch at the same time, that's a good thing. And then the last drill, we'll do a lot of this in the summer. This is, if you're going to send O-linemen over to the States for camps, if they can do this, they'll get that, and they will find a home. Okay? Because this is the competitive part. We call it score drill. Once again, I'm probably a little narrow with my cones here, but this is where the offensive player, we start 1 yard in front of the line, because there is going to be some natural knockback. And they got to cover the cone. This rabbit's trying to score. No bull rush. Trying to rip through arms, stutter shake, spin moves. Okay? I don't let them hand slap either, because to me it's all about, it's a lateral drill is what it's meant for. But you'll see 73, if he gets pressure to the right, see the right knee and hand? Watch his hand right here. It's not grabbing. Punch, punch, punch. It's like rapid fire punch. Pop, pop, pop. That was slow motion. Watch it full speed. Bang, bang, bang. That way the knee can catch his balance, and that knee, his foot has got to get to this cone. If he doesn't get there, and you're in a game, and that's your partner's hip, he's going to run right through the leg. There's no, that's the +2 part. Redirect. You see the dancing? I'm not a big two-hand punch guy unless you're getting a straight bull rush from a guy all day. So if the guy's working right on me, this one's up and ready, I'm trying to fight pressure with pressure. He comes back across, I got to get my ground back and cut him off to the other cone. And when we did what I call the cup drill, if the guys are struggling with that, we will over-exaggerate it. But I don't want them turning to stop the guy. Does that make sense? We don't want them to turn that much. It makes it easy to come back. So watch 73's punches here. Right knee, right hand, right knee, right hand, left knee, left knee, left knee, left knee, right knee, left hand, right knee, right knee, right hand, left hand, left hand, left hand. And they just rep it and rep it and rep it and rep it and rep it. If the knee's not moving, it don't matter how strong your punch is. You know, we're coaching them on something. We're giving them the next drill. Here, this guy's getting into him too much. See the contact? Like a punch here, but you can see the feet go to work. Here comes the right knee. See it go back? Left. Guy returns on him. He's got to get the knee back to hold his ground inside. Block of separation there to start with. Good punch timing here. Okay, when they punch now, okay, when they punch, that right hand's out of the frame, isn't it? It's outside my own knees. We don't want to punch him to a side or inside. We want to punch him and get back right square to nose with him. He would tend to throw guys at times. Okay, I'm going to get through. What are we at time-wise? What time am I done?
I'm going.
Just keep going. Okay. I want to get to some of the scheme stuff too with these guys. So here now, we go back to our, remember we had the 4 guys lined up for sets? Okay. When we get a third down team that's going to game a lot, we will set these pictures up. Now here, my son's a 7th grader, so he could come out and do this. That way, this way, you first, or you first. I really don't care what the games are. If you break a team down, they usually prefer ET or TE. They'll do both, but most teams, most D coordinators have a preference of which game they'll like. And if you watch enough tape, you'll know that. That's what you practice the most of. That makes sense? So here I'm working both left guard, left tackle. Now the left guard on this is 100% wrong unless we're working the dual side, which means he has center help sitting right there. Okay, the right side, they're working their base or their man side. As I set, they got to cover him up. You see, 66 does a decent job here. Whoa, he redirects, but he's not lunging. He's not trying to grab the guy. That way he can mirror. And if we can do this, I call it O-line speed. That's like junior varsity. All right, when we go line, watch 77's eyes snap out here. See his head turn right there? When I say dual side, that is our slide side. So he knows he has center help. Anything crosses inside, he's letting it go, and his eyes snap out for help. It's a good right knee here by 62. You can tell we changed his nose. That's the rookie freshman again. It was just 70. Okay, but we finish every drill. You look at the drill work. If nothing else, this is one thing I'll hang my hat on. We will finish every drill in good position. Okay, we're not going to, hey, I got it.
Coach,
Yes.
are they communicating like 66
Yes.
and 71?
Oh, yeah.
If they're coming back together?
You got it. Yep. So here's my communication piece. I don't have 1,000 terms, especially once the ball's snapped. You don't have time to go A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. That ball's snapped. It is on for 6 seconds. Okay. So my partner, come on, Philip. You're my guy here. All right. This could be whether it's left tackle, left guard. I could be the right guard in the center. It's all the same thing. If we set our guys, and we're in a man side, so we're going to pass these bumps off. If I set, and my guy is the penetrator, he's first. I'm fighting my tail off. I don't know there's a game going on. I'm just fighting because he's penetrating and I got to win with my knee. That knee helps me win my part, but it also helps me pass this to my buddy. Because if Philip over here sets the other guy, sets him, and then he loops, Philip has to be the communicator. If you don't have work to do, communicate. Okay? If I'm cutting a penetrator off, fighting, I don't have time to tell him to bump me. Okay? I don't even see it because I'm locked into my job. Now, Philip, you got the penetrator this time, so you're going to battle your tail off. I set, my shoulders get high, there he goes, he's looping. Boom! Because a lot of times, you don't hear anything when the ball's being played either. So it's a physical and verbal. Do they step on each other's toes? Yes. If you're going to play line, that's the least of your worries. But it is hard and it is violent because you're like patty cake is freshman. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? They go out in some of these stadiums, you can't hear anything. It's got to be physical. 66 just coming out of his stance. I teach the set in every drill. He's hunchback. You see him bending over? He's been stronger than everybody his whole life, so he's never had to have good technique. Really, watch 54, change here. He sees high shoulders. Look at the body take off. And look where his left knee goes. If this is a real game, he's going to deliver that partner. These two played together for 3 years. There's a lot of communication, and some guys use terms, some guys just have a feel for each other if they play together a lot. Big one here on the looper, 73. As the looper comes around, okay, 73's got that penetrator. He's posting right knee, right foot. When he gets the bump up in the physical, he feels it. As I come off, so just as the camera is here, if I'm 73, I got bumped and I feel it. When I come off, I have to assume, go cut him off. Because as it's looping, they're going to take the easiest path inside if they can get it. If you make a looper that's coming around and you let him go, he's going to go easiest path. If I cut him off, he's got to stop, fight back out, and I got a chance to recover. So just understand that your bumpers, when you're penetrating, when you come off it, you got to anticipate that guy's coming and you got to cut his tempo off. So to the left right here, see how he cuts that off with his left foot? He still wins that drill with his left foot when the looper comes around. Yes, it's slow motion. You'll see some live ones here in a minute. 66. Okay, almost too high of a kick. This is another little thing. When you see how high it is? The longer it's out of the air, the harder it is for him to redirect. Because until that foot gets in the ground, he can't push back inside. So I talk about your cleats. You want them to skim the grass. You never want the cleats to leave the grass. They're always in the blades of it. That makes sense? Quick, short steps. But we'll do this a lot. We do it, depending on what teams do every week. And don't let them cheat the drill now. These are two veterans. Sometimes I just got to go double pinch or double rush, straight up. Otherwise, they start jumping and guessing the drill. Their stance is a little tight here. 73 looks excited, doesn't he? Okay, here we go. Bad picture. So 83 has the penetrator. He can't throw it. That guy's going to split him right there. You with me? So the looper, 54, he's got to go get to 83. And 83 has got to stay with it until somebody bumps it. There's no just throwing, guys, because the good ones, they'll split that right there. Does that make sense? It's a physical hip-to-hip bumping. And what that was actually a two-man score drill. See how wide I put the cones in this drill? That's what they're all doing here. It's two-man score instead of one now. So they got to do bumps. These rabbits both ways. Instead of just themselves, they're both working. Everybody see that? So it's a continuous. I usually go about 6 or 7 seconds on that. It's a little longer than a play. Here's a bull drill. I'll start with the O-lineman in good position. Up at the top here. Okay? The O-lineman gets his hands inside, gets a good difference. Got to learn to sink his hips because as long as he's moving you back, he's going to keep bowling. Everybody see that? 74 on the bottom, He's getting rolled back. His hips are too high. His shoulders are high. It's over. That bull rush is going to keep going until it resets. See, reset the hands? That's why we don't teach just hold all the time. Same thing up top. The guy on the top resets right there. As soon as that D lineman resets, reset, reset. You got to be able to do it while you're engaged. So here we go. Same thing, bull. Now we got some scout team guys with us. We're getting a little better look than offensive linemen. These are the young D linemen. Start them engaged, and they got to be able to stop and sink against the bull. 54 gets pushed back pretty good right here. But we get a better look out of the defense now, so these guys got to keep fine-tuning their technique a little bit. 55 is holding on too much. See that? What happens when he holds? Watch this. He gets overextended because he's holding. You're going to get called for holding, and you're going to give up the sack anyways. So just let go and move your feet to cover him. This is a little crawl technique, more of a play action deal I put in here. Okay, last thing here, tackles. Okay. Let's see here. You can see, I'm telling you, there's not a lot of fat bodies. These are good-looking, big athletes. Okay? My man 65 right here weighs 321. Look at those feet when he changed. Now, this is my favorite drill. I don't know, I've not seen it before, so I said I created it, but it's probably like 10 people doing it over here, I guarantee you. I call it birds on a wire. There's 4 linemen lined up. Okay? We're going to do this little live demonstration. All 4 of you right here. And, Nicole, hold on, you're my worker. Let's go. Okay, come on over here. Come on over here. All right, Nicole, you're going to be the left tackle, right? You're the franchise player. You're the left tackle. Put your left foot on the line. Go ahead and slide over this way a little bit. Okay? I need you guys moving over here. I want you to start head up on her. Okay? And stay shoulder to shoulder. Don't get too far. It's a little unrealistic. All I'll do, I'll stand back here. And this is to start training eyes. It's for eye discipline of this one, the offensive lineman. Everything we do is inside out. So her eyes out of her stance, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how fast her eyes got to work. Figure out who's coming first. Okay? So I'll just stand back here and we'll make it easy the first time. 1, 2, 3, 4. You good? And just walk through it. All we're going to do is when she covers you up, just back out, make sure she makes contact, and then just walk back. You ready? Here we go. I get a good arc now. We got to get a reverse arc. See, there we go. 0 minutes. Okay, here we go. 0 minutes. Here we go. You ready? Here we go. Just walk through it. Set, hut. Bang, he backs out. Good? Okay? Got it. Everybody has the idea. And she's always standing on the inside half. Okay, now let's go back one more time. Now we're going to go algebra 2 and make you work your eyes a little bit. I'm going to go here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got me? All right, here we go. Hut. Okay? Oh, she's got to move her feet over now. Oh, she's got to slide back in and cut him off, and then slide back out. What it is it's making you move so my eyes always stay on the inside half. He's coming. I stop him. He backs out. The wide one comes. I got to slide out to it. Stop him. Inside comes. I got to get way back in here with my knee to get on his inside half. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, give him a hand. Okay, last thing and we're done. Here's the last 10 seconds of my 0 minutes. Okay? Felix, you got me on the sound? Everybody always asks me, what's it like in the States if you haven't been over for a game, you see them on TV. This is just North Dakota State, the last minute here, and we're done. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.